Hello all. Good morning. Can you guys hear me?
Hey, yeah, I can hear you. Good morning.
Right. Shall we let's start in like 5 minutes? Let's wait for 5 more minutes and then we'll start.
Yeah, sure.
All right, guys. Hello, good morning. Hope you're doing well.
Hi.
Hello, hello, everyone.
Hi.
So, should I take your attendance now, or let me just take the screenshot? Okay. How many we have? Data master is okay. Meeting analytics. Okay. All right. Let me just take a snip of it. All right. All right, sir. So, good morning. So, let us start today's session. So today again we are going to focus on mainly on how to import data and how to export data. Okay, the main work of an ETL, all right, the main work as an ETL developer or the main work as an as a data warehouse developer is the main thing is like doing the ETL process. Now the ETL process can be done in many ways. Okay. Earlier there were only few methods to do this, but now we have different methods to do this. Okay. We have like a lot of other ways to do this. Okay. The main two things, okay, basically whenever we are speaking about ETL, okay, whenever we are speaking about ETL, we are speaking about extraction, transformation, and load. Okay, extraction, transformation, and load. So we need to extract data mainly from multiple sources or different sources. Now this source can be a file, the source can be a web service, the source can be an API, the source can be another database. Okay, it can be anything. It can be a structured data, it can be an unstructured data, or it can be a semi-structured data. Whatever it is, the data which we need to get into our database is called as extraction. So we are loading that data into our system. Okay, the second part that comes is transformation. Now transformation is if the data requires some sort of cleaning, if the data requires some sort of adjustment, if data needs to be processed, if the data needs to be changed, or if the data needs to be validated, all these kind of operations whatever you perform comes under the transformation part. Okay, all that comes into the transformation part. And the final thing is load. Load is where when you push the data into your destination database or into the destination table. Okay, into the destination table. So in real time what we do mostly is, mostly as I'm very much into SSIS. Okay, my most of my experience is towards this tool called as SSIS, which is a Microsoft proprietary, okay, which is developed by Microsoft. This is called as SQL Server Integration Services. SQL Server Integration Services is an ETL tool. So where you extract, transform, and load. So if today the time permits, I will just show you the walkthrough about complete give you a walkthrough of the tool, how it looks, what are the different control flows, and what are the different data flows we have in that. All right. But today we will be mostly focusing on how to load the data from an external source, like how to import the data, how to transform, and how to load into our table. All right. And if required, how to do small operations on that. Okay. So we will be taking the help of SQL here to transform. Okay. For transformation purposes, we will take the help of SQL itself. Okay, the other ways nowadays how the ETL is working is by using Python as well. Okay, now if you're very well versed with pandas, Even pandas is used for extraction. Okay, by using pandas library, people what they do is they extract data from different data sources into the database. The other things like transformation and load happens at the database level. So in that way also ETL can be done. ETL also can be done by using various different tools that are available. Okay, one of those tools again available on the market is Informatica. Okay, Informatica. So Informatica is another tool which is used for your extraction, transformation, and load. And there is one more thing called as Ab initio. All these tools are used for extraction, transformation, load, ETL processing. All right, all this. And we call them as an on-premise tools. Okay, what do you mean by on-premise, sir? What do you mean by on-premise?
On-premise, that means not in cloud, in your
Exactly.
own. Yeah.
Okay, it's not in a cloud. Basically, now let's understand what is a cloud. Okay, do you guys have a fair understanding of what is a cloud?
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah.
Other people? Ritu, Gautami, Salman, Prinsa, Sai Prahalad. What exactly is cloud is?
Yes, I have a fair understanding of it.
Right. So basically, so let's just discuss about it. Okay, let's discuss about like what is a cloud. So basically, cloud is a service provided by basically what happens in normal in what happens in conventional processes or what happens in monolithic architecture. Okay, when we say monolithic architecture, okay, what happens in monolithic architecture? Okay, so the server. Okay, I don't know how many of you know about this. Basically, any any product that will have as that will have multiple layers in it. Okay, that will have multiple layers in it. For example, you have your database here. Okay, you have your database here. The database is connected to something called as an application server. It is connected to something called as an application server, and this is connected to something called as an web server. Okay, it is connected to something called as web server, and here you will have some more things called as the web services. Okay, web services, and here there will be an end user. Okay, usually the flow goes into like, okay, a person can utilize a web service. From there he can go to the web server. From the web server he can connect to the app server, and from the app server he needs to connect to the database, and the database responds usually back towards like this. All right. So this is a monolithic architecture or called as an entire architecture, which is the conventional way of doing this. In this process, what happens is the company, whichever is doing the project, owns everything of this. Okay, including from database. Okay, including from the database to the application servers, web servers. Okay, everything, all the development, all the servers, physical servers, everything is owned by the company itself. All the things are owned by the company itself. So there is, so everything has to be maintained by the company itself. Okay, so if something happens to it, they have to take care of, they have to take care of the maintenance, they have to keep them running. If they are just like, if they are done, like if they're completely like occupied, more resources has to be added. This has to be done by the company itself. Okay, now what happens in cloud? Now we have different cloud services, right? Cloud services like we have the AWS, we have Azure, we have GCP. Okay, now what these people do is these people completely do not follow this conventional process. What they do is everything, all these architectural needs are given to you as a service. All these things are given to you as a service. Now they have a lot of tools. Now these cloud vendors will take care of all your needs. The web server, app server, the database. You need some tool like this to work on. Okay, you don't have to buy anything. What you have to do is you just have to pay them a subscription fee, okay, for the services you are using. All right, everything is available under one portal. Who manages all these servers? Who manages all these services? The cloud vendor follow for the cloud vendor takes care of all these things. Okay, the cloud vendor takes care of all of this. So you don't have to buy anything. And even more, you want to scale them. For example, you want to scale them. Now you want to increase the RAM of your database server. You want to increase the RAM of your application server. You want to increase the resources. Okay, you want to allocate your developers to this particular cloud. Everything is done in one single product page. Okay, in one single portal, everything is done. You don't own anything. You don't own anything. Okay, everything is owned by this big cloud vendors, and these cloud vendors will take care of everything. So they have the server, they have everything placed at point. You just have to pay for whatever the services you are utilizing it. So what happens with this, when you are using a cloud, mainly you are physical, so you don't have to buy anything. So there is no need of buying huge buildings to maintain your servers. You don't need to invest into any physical servers or anything. And even if you want to scale, you just have to tell them that I want to scale this. I want to increase the RAM. I want to decrease the RAM at a particular point. I want to increase the processing power and decrease the processing power. You just have to make that configurations. That's it. Depending upon the configurations, they charge you. So this becomes a highly likable, or this becomes something like most used for startup companies, or any companies that don't deal with a huge amount of data, or like any enterprise that doesn't deal with huge amount of data of their own. For them it is quite suitable. Okay, nowadays even the large enterprises are coming up. Okay, even my company where I work, okay, so there we are using, like, most of the things we are doing on GCP, or we are doing it on Azure. Okay, because my company has partnered with different other companies. There they are doing with GCP or Azure. They are doing a lot of projects on GCP and Azure. But some companies still follow the conventional method, mainly finance companies, like banking companies. They don't trust other people. So what they do is they maintain their own data. They maintain their own data. They maintain their own server. Though it is very expensive, they maintain their own their own infrastructure. Okay, but you are a fresher. You want to be an entrepreneur, or you want to just getting started in the business. You cannot afford licenses, individual license of any tool. This cloud services are comes into very handy. At very bare minimal prices you can afford them. Okay, sir, clear? Hello? Yes,
Yes.
you good with this? Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Now let's clear these annotations. All right, sir. So now today, have you guys installed SQL Server? Those whoever can, did you guys install SQL Server?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Other people?
Yes, I have.
All right, good. All right, the other people who are not able to do this, okay, I will try to show you the same import export wizard in MySQL. Okay, I'm not sure whether MySQL is there or not with me. Just a second. So if it is there, I will show you it in. Okay, I do have it. All right, fine. Okay, we will try to do both of these actions, but there are a lot of options in SQL Server, so where you can, where we will be doing some scheduling as well. All right. Now, sir, now this is your SQL Server. So the people who are not aware of SQL Server, now again, SQL Server is a Microsoft proprietary database management system. All right, sir. So why we use SQL Server? So mainly SQL Server is used for database and data warehousing needs. Mainly SQL Server is used for database and data warehousing needs. Now you might have learned SQL in a particular compile, right? So maybe you have done it on SQLite. So in real time, whenever you go, so mainly you will be working with one of the proprietary softwares. Okay, one of the proprietary softwares in real time. You might be using SQL Server in the backend, or you might be using MySQL Workbench, or you might be using Oracle PL SQL. or you might be using Postgres PLSQL. Okay. So before let's continue, let me ask you this question, sir. Why do we have, if SQL is a language, why do we have this many database management systems? Or I can ask you like something like, so what is the difference between SQL and what is a MySQL or SQL Server or PostgreSQL? We'll not take Oracle here. What
So
would be the difference? Yes.
those are proprietary database management systems owned by different companies, no?
Okay. And this one?
Uh, SQL is the language through which we can connect to those database systems.
Not connect. Not
Connect means
exactly.
like when we write the query, so we can establish that connection in order to fetch the information from those database systems.
Okay. Who owns SQL then?
Nobody owns SQL, I guess. It's a general purpose language. It's just like Python.
Yes, someone might have developed it, right? Someone might have developed it.
Who developed it first?
Yep.
Probably Oracle. It's a relational database. It started as a
No,
relation.
even Oracle is a proprietary.
Okay. Who would be? Let me
IBM.
IBM.
Yeah. So IBM was the first one to, they came up with a few researchers, they came up together and they created this language. Okay, after they created this language, what they did is they said like, okay, this is the language, okay, this is the standard you have to follow. This is the language by which you can talk to databases. Now everyone has to follow this particular standard. All right, they said this. So the first person to adapt this databases is the Oracle. Okay, Oracle jumped into the wagon. He said like, I will take your SQL. On top of it, he created his own database management system. He added more features to it, made it what? He made it Oracle PLSQL. Okay, he created his own language called as procedural language SQL. All right, then Postgres came in, then they started creating the same. They saw like Oracle is making billions of money by creating their own database management system. So Postgres came in, so Postgres started doing its own, so they started doing it on PGSQL. Okay, as soon as it saw like Microsoft is like the copycat, okay, the copycat master of all the companies. So what it did, so it saw like, okay, the other people are making a lot of money, why don't I make? So he went to IBM, he took that SQL. Now SQL is free. SQL is free to use. So
Yeah.
what they did, they took it, they added their own features, they made it TSQL. All right. Now at this point of time, a few bunch of developers, they came in, they said like, why do we have to pay for all of this? Okay, why do I have to pay this much of hefty prices to use this database management system? Why don't we create a database management system which is free? So what MySQL did, MySQL adapted SQL and they announced it free. This community, MySQL community, came up and they said it completely, everything is free. All right. As soon as MySQL said it is free, individual developers or small teams, what all they did, who cannot afford this huge database management system, they jump into MySQL and MySQL became more popular. As soon as MySQL became popular, Oracle bought it.
Oh, okay.
All right, Oracle bought it. Now MySQL comes under Oracle. Okay,
It's still
MySQL.
free.
It is still free.
No.
MySQL is still free. MySQL can be used by teams. So even you can download and use MySQL. It's free.
Yeah.
Even SQL Server is free. Okay, developer edition is free. But if you want to go for enterprise level, then you have to pay. The license is too costly for SQL Server, and Oracle is way more costly. Okay.
Okay.
So in order to understand this in a very simple terminology, if you see stock Android, right? Google created stock Android. Stock Android is like SQL, all right? Or SQL is like stock Android. So stock Android, then Samsung took it, made it One UI. MI phones took it, made it MI UI. OnePlus phones took it, they made it Color OS or something else. Okay, OnePlus OS. So what they did, the underlying OS operating system is Android only, but they created their own flavors on top of that, giving some unique features to that operating system. All right. So that is
Okay.
what happened with SQL as well. SQL is a just a normal language. On top of that, this company started creating their own database management system. All right, sir. Clear? Why do we have? So whenever you are applying for any jobs, okay, now because you are learning this, okay, I hope you need to catch up with this. I'm not sure like how good you are with SQL, but somehow we will come to know now, because I will tell you to write a lot of logics here. All right. So whenever you see any job description which says well versed with T-SQL, well versed with PG-SQL, well versed with PL/SQL, they are asking you for SQL development roles. Okay, SQL development roles. Okay, so don't so always try to mention these keywords. Okay, whatever these keywords are mentioned here in your resume or in your CVs, also try to mention the same keywords. Don't just keep SQL, or don't keep any generic word. Okay, use specific terminology like this. Okay, use SQL Server, and in parentheses you use T-SQL. If you are good with Postgres, use Postgres, and in parentheses use PG-SQL. Okay, use this terminology. Because of that, your resume might be picked, or your resume might get rejected as well. Okay, so this is a little of the topic, but I hope it's good. All right,
Uh,
sir.
how different are they? They're not that different, right?
Sorry.
The query language is not that different in any kind of database, right? It's pretty similar. The general query languages.
They are pretty similar, but you have like some functions which you use that are very specific to SQL Server, which are very specific to Postgres, which are specific to Oracle. Main statements, whatever you are using, like the DDL, DML, DQL, TCL, all these are common. Okay? All these are common. These are common across all the database management system. Okay. On top of that, how you write code, what kind of things are uh, supported by different database management, they differ. They
Okay.
differ in working, they differ in how you write that code. Okay. SQL Server is very, if you say SQL Server is like very easy to understand.
Okay.
SQL Server doesn't have a lot of restrictions. Where
Yeah.
if you see Postgres or MySQL have a little bit of restrictions on how you write a code. All
Okay.
right. Oracle is truly tightly packed, and Oracle uses object-oriented programming as well. Okay.
Okay.
It is the only SQL database. Oracle is the only SQL database which has object-oriented programming. So in SQL also you can do object-oriented programming.
Okay.
Okay. You can inherit. You can what you say. You can encapsulate. You can do a lot of stuff with Oracle. Okay, Oracle is way powerful, and it is very tedious also to learn. Okay, it's very huge. Okay, but if you are
So
interested,
when we practice SQL and SQLite, SQLite is just a platform to write SQL codes. It's not a database management system, is it?
exactly, it's not a proper database management system. Now, in a database management system, what happens is you will get a lot of features in it. You will get a lot of features in it. For example, now we have something called as this job scheduling activity. So once we load some data into it, and every day you want to run a job at a particular time, you wrote a transformation and you want to run that transformation every day at a certain point of time. Okay,
Okay.
SQL Server gives you that directly. All right.
Okay.
But if you go to MySQL doesn't have this. MySQL needs to use something called as cron jobs, CRON jobs, cron job. All right.
Okay.
It needs to utilize something, a third party service, to do the same task.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. You can write loops and you can write different logics directly into SQL Server. But in MySQL, if you want to write it, you have to write it in a stored procedure only.
Okay.
All right, so there are like some subtle differences are there. So that will come into that will come into picture once you start dwelling more deeper into each one of this management system. Okay.
Yeah.
And whatever you have learned in SQLite, right, that SQLite is like the basics of it. Okay, you are just scratching the surface of it. All right. The more you learn about a database management system, there are like a lot of features in it that you start learning and utilizing them. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's find a data set. Okay, let me give you a walkthrough of SQL Server. So sir, this is SQL Server. Okay, so in SQL Server, so this is a Microsoft proprietary software, mostly used for database and data warehousing techniques. Okay, it's used for mainly for database operations and data warehousing operations. All right, sir. So if you see on the left side, you see this is called as an Object Explorer. Object Explorer is where you have like different server. Now this is my local server. This book, everything is my local server. And in this local server, you can have multiple databases in it. You can have multiple databases in it. So you can create a lot of databases inside them. Okay. So you have a lot of features inside itself. So for example, if you go into each database, so into each database, you have different folders here. Like you can create tables, you can create views, you can create synonyms, you can create stored procedures in programmability. If you see, you can create stored procedures, you can create functions, you can create database triggers. All right. So there are a lot of other features that are available here. On top of that, you have this SQL Server agent, which is used for job running. And moreover, SQL Server also gives you this advantage of SQL Server Profiler, a tool. Okay, there is a tool called as SQL Server Profiler. Now, SQL Server Profiler is used to track queries. Okay, so if you have a very big application and if you want to know where exactly a certain issue is coming, you can run a SQL Server Profiler tool. This tool will help you out in identifying what are the queries running inside them and how to identify the problematic query, where the query is. And on top of that, you have like other things here. So you can see data, and here it also supports this import export wizard, which is like a simple ETL operation that can be done. All right, sir. So I will not go, because this is not a SQL class, I will not go more into SQL things. Okay, I will just keep it on a very light note. Okay. All right, sir. Now let's try to create a database for ourselves. So how to create a database, sir? How to create a database?
Write the query, create database and database name.
Okay, create database. Okay, so I'm going to create a database called as import export db. Okay, so I'm just going to create one database called as create import export db. Now you just go execute this and you just refresh the server and you can see your new database into action. Your new database into action. All right. So now you can directly create a table and you can start loading data into it. Or what we can do here is you can directly on the fly, you can create a database or you can create a table. How you can create a table? Let's see. Before that, let's go and get some data set. Okay, let's go to Kaggle. So I hope you guys know about Kaggle. Now Kaggle has a lot of data sets in it. All right, Kaggle has a lot of data sets in it, so you can use any one of those data sets to for our ETL requirements. Okay, what is the thing that you want me to pick up? Any data set of your choice.
I think we already have one. Oh, that's okay.
Which data set?
We had one murder mystery data set we used in our SQL class,
Murder mystery.
but we have downloaded that already. I think all of us.
This one?
We can't see your screen.
You guys not able to see my screen?
No, we can just see the SQL Server screen, not the other one.
Acha. Okay, fine. Let me just, I think I shared only one window maybe. Hmm. Now is it visible?
No, it's again the
Yeah, it's
MySQL
SQL Server.
screen.
Now?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, sir. Now tell me which database you want me to look into. Not the murder mystery, because you already worked on the murder mysteries. Let's take some other data set. Simple data set. Let's take some simple data set. Shall we take this? Most watched movies and TV shows?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Okay. All right, let's it's only 1.34. Okay, it's 1.34. All right. Let's download this. Did you guys see yesterday's recording? Any one of you have seen yesterday's recording?
I saw some of it. What?
Okay, so which screen is coming up? This shared screen is only coming up there?
Yeah, this one's coming up. Yeah.
All right. Just a second. Let me just authenticate it. All right. I have downloaded the data set. Let me just extract this. Okay, so we have a CSV and we have a XLS. Okay, so if you see, we have so we downloaded that. We downloaded this data set. So we have one CSV file and one Excel file. Let's open this Excel file and see how the data looks. Some content in. I'm going to try to. Yes. All right. So we have rank, title, okay, watch time. So what is the watch time? Okay, and whether it is a TV show or it is a movie. So we have all this information, right, sir? Whether it is a TV show or whether it is a thing, we have this particular thing. So we still have, oh, we have a lot of other things as well. Okay, so the genres, we have like different genres here. Okay, we have a lot of different genres here. And what are those movies? Okay, and what is the watch time? Everything is available here. Okay, watch time in millions, and what is the actual watch time? So all this information is there. How many records are there? Yes, this seems to be a pretty good data set. So we have 18,000 records. So let's import this data. Let's import this data and then try to do some operations on it today. Okay, in today's class, let's do some operations on it and let's try it. So all those transformations we will do is on SQL itself. Okay, tomorrow we will dwell into SSIS and we will try to learn different other transformations that you can do in SSIS itself. Okay, so now the import export wizard, okay, the import export wizard, that whatever we are using today is used to import data from external resources into your database. Okay, now for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my database, whatever the database I want to import the data into. I'm going to click that. Okay, and I'm going to import this, okay, by using a tool called as import export utility. Now if you see here, you have something called as a import flat file, and if you have something called as import data. Okay, you can use any one of these things. Now, flat file is any file which is like of the format of CSV, Excel, or any just like a tab delimited data, whatever this or they, right? All we call them as flat files. All right. So let's go with something called as import flat file. Let's go with import flat file. Now, this is your import export wizard. Okay, where you can see the import flat file. Now you can import a flat file into this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on next. So location of the file. So from where I want to import this data. So I just want to, I will browse it. So this is the table. And if you see, I'm able to see only CSV file here. Okay, because it is a flat file. It is not taking Excel as a flat file. Only CSV or .txt is considered as a flat file. No problem. Let's take this CSV file as for that. Now, whether you want to create a new table or you want to use an existing table. Now, because our database is brand new and we do not have any tables in it, so we are not able to see any tables from our database. But if you want to create a new table, you can create a new table like this. Okay. Now you can keep it as Flix Patrol, or I'm just going to call it as, okay, Flix Patrol. I will call it as staging. Okay, staging, Flix Patrol staging, or I will call it as Flix Patrol raw. When I say raw, that means it is the exact data how it looks in CSV. The same thing I'm getting loaded into my system. So that's why I'm going to call it as Flix Patrol raw. I will click on next. So it shows me, because it is a comma separated, it is showing me, oh, these are the columns that are going to be fetched. Is this correct? So if you have any doubt, you can go just and check. Now, if your data has problem, now if your CSV file has a problem, for example, a missing of comma or anything, what happens is this messes up your data. Okay, this messes up your data. So when the data is messed up, when your file itself is a messed up file, if you load that data into your database as well, it is of no use. So what happens is you just need to confirm whether whatever the data is being shown here is like in correct format, like all the columns and all the rows are in like correct format. Yes. Okay. Use risk type detection may provide a closer type fit. However, cells with anonymous values may be dropped. All right. So this feature is new feature. Even I haven't seen this. All right. Anyhow, like you got this. All right. So let's click next. Now it has given you data types. Now you want to use this. Now this particular tool has sensed what is the data type of each one of those, and here it has created this. Now you want to keep these data types intact like this, or you want to change them. It completely depends on you. All right, sir. Hello.
Yeah.
All right. So for example, now if you don't want the rank, for example, how the rank looks like. Let me just open the CSV file. Let's open with Excel. Now, if you see here, so is there any dot or anything? It should have been picked up as integer, but I don't know why it picked it as varchar. So if you want to make it as integer, so you can just make it as integer. All right. Title nvarchar of 50. Okay. You can keep it as nvarchar of 50, or if you want to just increase, you can increase the length of that particular data type. Okay. So again, there is a thing called as type. I'm just increasing the limit of everything. All right. Now there is a flag called as premier flag. Let's see what is that. Premier flag. Okay, when it was premiered. Now again, this premier flag is a number, right? It is a year. Now you want to keep it as a number or you want to make it as a varchar. It's up to you again. So it has used small int. I prefer int itself. I don't want to prefer on that. Genre, again, nvarchar of 50. I want to just make it as nvarchar of 500. Watch time, int. Watch time in millions. Now, watch time in millions, if you see, it has a M in it. if you see there is a m suffixed in it. So it's better that if we try to keep it as varchar only. Now, if you try to convert it into integer, we might get typecasting errors. Now, what is the typecasting error? If it is trying to convert this varchar or this letter into integer, it might throw up some errors to us. So it's better, let's keep it as varchar itself. All right. Now, if you want to keep any one of them as primary keys, I don't want to keep any one of them as primary keys as of now. I just want to leave it like this. Okay. If nulls are allowed or not. Okay. If nulls are allowed or not. Okay. So this is like when you want that column to have null values or you don't want to have null values. So currently only for joiner there is allow null values. Okay. Let's try to import this data. Let's try to import this data. Just click on next and finish. We got an error. Let's see. Error inserting data into table. The process cannot access. Okay, because I opened the file here, right? So it is giving me an error. Close the file. Do not access this while this operation is being performed. Okay, let's go back. Okay, from this step, let's come back next, and finish. Okay, the given value 1 of type string from the data source cannot be converted to type int for column 0. Okay, so I guess what happened here is for the type, what does this type refers to?
There's a column name type.
Right, type, yeah, type is there, but what exactly? Did we keep type as integer? We did not keep it as integer, right? Error inserting data,
No.
error inserting data into table, the given value 1 of type string from the data source. Okay, for the column rank. Okay, the rank column has 1 dot inside it. Okay, so let's go back. Let's convert it back to varchar. Let's convert it back to varchar. Now let's click next. Finish. Again, there is an error. Let's look at like what is that error. Column premier does not allow db null value. All right. So let's go back, and because it is saying like I will just keep like all them to allow null values for now. I want all the columns to allow null values as of now. Let's go next, finish. Okay, the insertion of data is done. Okay, by using the import export wizard, we were able to import the file, an external file, into our database. Okay, so let's refresh this database and see what we have got. Okay, so select star from Flix Patrol underscore raw. Flix Patrol. Acha, sorry. Use import export db. I have to change the database. Now let's see this. Now, if you see this, you are able to load this data. You are able to load this data into your system. Now your data has a lot of problem. Yes or no? Your data has a lot of problem in it. Okay, your data has a lot of problem in it. All right. Now let's try to understand each one of those problems and write some code to change it. Okay. Now, if you see this Flix Patrol raw, now in the rankings, if you see, you got dots in itself. Yes or no? Hello, sir. You got 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dot, 4 dot, 5 dot, 6 dot. So the first problem we identified with our data, now the data cleaning has to be kicked off. Okay. Now data cleaning, we need to data clean it. Data cleaning activity, or you can say this step as the transformation step. We can say it as the transformation step, where we are going to transform the data. Whatever the data we receive, now we need to change that data. All right. So we will do a set of operations now. We will do a lot of operations, and all these operations we will do using SQL itself. We will do using SQL itself. We don't do all this stuff like in any tool. We have to clean the data. We have to transform the data. We have to move this data into different genres using this. Okay, let's see what we can do. All right. Now, first part is data cleaning. Now, if you see the rank field, the rank column has dots in it. Yes or no? Okay. Get rid of dot and convert the rank field to int data type. So this is the first operation we are going to perform. The first operation is you need to get rid of the dot and you just need to push. Now, what is our final table? Okay, what is our final table? So for example, our final table, what is the final table that we want to create? The final table you want to create is maybe, what you want to keep the table name? Any specific name that you want to give?
Just most watched movies, maybe.
Okay.
Movies. Yeah.
So, or shall we split the data into most watched TV shows and most watched movies? Right?
Yeah.
Let's create two tables and push this data into two different tables. Okay. Okay. So let's create two tables. Okay. Now again, this is one more operation that we need to perform. What is that? Create tables. Create tables. What is that? Most watched TV shows. Okay, TV shows. And we need to have one more table called as most watched movies. Okay, so we are going to create two tables, and what we are going to do is we are going to push the data into two different tables. Okay, from this table, from this raw table, we have to create two more tables, and that are our destination tables. Okay, at the end I will give you an assignment that you have to do on your own. Okay, so first option is we need to get rid of this. Okay, the second thing that what we want to do is we do not have a primary key column here. If you see, if you do not have, so yes, primary key column we can create in our destination tables. Any other error you see with this?
Watch time, we can change it to just numbers.
Watch time, currently what is watch time here? Watch time is integer. That's correct,
integer.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, so we don't have any problem with that. So watch time is integer, that's fine. That's totally good. All right. Any other thing that you want me to do here? Okay, let's start with this simple operation. Then we will move into different other operations. Okay. All right, sir. So now how you will get rid of this dot? Any SQL function that you can think of?
Replace.
Correct. All right. We are going to replace this data. Now, if you want to replace this data, where you are going to replace it? Now you do not have to replace it in the raw table itself. Whatever the data you load in ETL activities, or whenever you are doing any ETL activity, whatever your first table that imports the data, you do not perform any operation on that table. For example, now this raw table is my first table in which I am loading the data. Now here you do not have to do any operation. You do not perform any operation on this main table. You will keep that data. Even if the data is dirty, you will keep it like that only. Now what you will do on top of this? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some transformation here. What I'm going to do? So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a temporary table. Okay, I'm going to create a temporary table. How many of you know the concept of temporary tables, sir? You guys are good with temporary tables? Yes, hello?
Yeah.
Sir, again, I am assuming you know the concepts. That is why I'm going a little faster here. If you have any doubt, or if you think that you just need to refresh that thing, just let me know so that I will tell about that concept and then I will move forward. Okay. Hello, sir. If anyone is having doubt, like, oh, we don't know about this, you can just ask me. I will cover the topic and then I will move forward. Okay. All right. Here, how you create a temporary table? You can create a temporary table by using a hash tag in it. Okay. If you write any table with hash in SQL Server, if you write it with hash, then it is becomes your temporary table. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a table, Flix Patrol Raw. Now what I'm going to do is I have to push all my data into this. So rather than creating a table, what I can do is I can just write select star into Flix Patrol Raw. So I'm pushing my data, complete data into Flix Patrol Raw. From where? From my Flix Patrol table. So now what SQL Server will do is SQL Server will create a temporary table with the whole data from raw table. Just let's see what happens if we do this. Okay, and if I go and do select star from hashtag Flix Patrol Raw. Now, whenever you see a hash in front of any table name, that means it is a temporary table in SQL Server, sir. In SQL Server. In MySQL, the syntax is different. In MySQL, the syntax is different. So if you see, the data is loaded into this and it is not sorted, but the data is loaded. All right. So let's drop and recreate it. Drop table if exists. Now what this code will do is, if this particular table exists, it will drop that particular table. So I'm just going to drop the temporary table and I'm going to recreate it again. Now what is the operation that I wanted to perform from the Flix Patrol Raw? Hello, sir. So I wanted to
Remove the
get
dot.
rid of the dot, right? So what I can do is I will just write. So the first column is replace rank. Okay. Replace rank. So if you have a column name used with a keyword, then what you will do, you will just write this. All right. So what you want to replace, sir? What you want to replace? So you want to replace dot. Wherever you see dot, what you want to replace it with? You want to replace it with a normal thing. All right. You just want to replace it with an empty string. Sir, understood this thing, this particular function? Replace function is used to replace a particular thing to something you want. So what I'm telling by this function is, if in the rank column, if you see a dot inside it, okay, if you see a dot inside it, replace it with a empty space. Okay, I'm going to call this as, again, I'm going to call this as rank only, because you will not have a column name. Once you apply a function to any column, you will not have a column name. So you have to explicitly give its alias again. You have to explicitly give its alias. If you don't explicitly give this alias, right, what will happen is it will throw you an error saying that there is no column name. There is no column name. So here is that. Then I don't want to do anything with the title. All right. So title type Premier. So I'm just going to write Premier. All right. Genre. Okay. Watch time. All right. Watch time in millions. All right, sir. So these are the things that I wanted to create. These are the things that I wanted to get from my Flix Patrol raw table. Now what we did just a small data cleaning activity here. What is the data cleaning activity? We got rid of the dot and we just placed it here. I'm just going to run this piece of code. Okay, and it has been, the data has been modified. Now if you see it, all right, we got rid of all the dots. Dots. Now what I want to do is I want to create, okay, now what I want to do is I want to create two different tables. One that just holds most watched TV shows, and the one that holds only most watched movies. All right. So I'm just going to create this. Okay. How I'm going to create this? I'm going to create in this way. Okay. Select star into into. Now I'm going to create a new table called as most watched TV shows. Okay. From which table, sir? From my temporary table, whatever the temporary table I did, right? So from the temporary table, I want to create it. From the temporary table, I want to push the data into my most watched TV shows. I want to push the data into my most watched TV shows. Now, how would I identify whether it is a TV show or not? By using the where condition. Yes or no? Hello? Where
Yeah.
type is equals to TV show. Where type is equals to TV show. Now, if I do this, I will completely push the data from here, from my temporary table, only the TV shows data into this. In the same way, what I want to do, I want to create another script, another command for my most watched movies. I want to create it for my most watched movies. All right. So here, what I'm going to do, so if it is a movie, I just want to push it where type equal to movies. I'm just going to run these two commands. All right. So we have 7,284 TV shows, and we have most watched movies are 10,880. So if you individually watch these tables now, if you go and individually watch these tables, select start from most watched movies. All right. You can see this data. Of course, the data is not sorted here. If you see, the data is not sorted here. Order by rank. Order by rank. Let's execute this. All right, sir. Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, everyone understood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. But still, the rank is not okay. Order by cast rank as int. Now casting is converting it into another data type. So let's just run this. Now if you see, yes. Now you see, now there is a problem again here with your data. What is the problem? You see, if I am having two different types of entities here, for example, here I have one movies and the other one is like, one is movies, the other one is TV shows. Earlier, when we saw the data set has the ranking based on TV shows and as well as it has with the TV shows and the movies. So the ranking was on the whole level. The ranking was on the whole level. What I want is I want to rank my movies also. Okay, I don't want to start the rank from 14. Now the mother is a movie which was watched too many times. All right, it has been watched like 249.9 million times. I want to give it a rank 1, right? Why would I want it to give it a rank 14?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Are you guys understanding this? Like what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
All right. You got the data, but the data is on a whole level. It is like it is a mixed match of data where you have TV shows and movies and they are ranked together. But now currently, if I have diversified the data like TV shows into TV shows and movies into movies, the TV shows has to start with rank 1 till whatever the rank it is, and at the same time you want your movies also to be ranked from rank 1 to a certain rank. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Now
Yes.
we need to perform this operation as well. Now we need to perform this transformation as well, where you have to manipulate the data. And moreover, if you see this most watched movies and most watched TV shows, if you see this, we do not have a primary key. Yes, these tables do not have a primary key. Now what you need to do is you need to create a primary key column as well. Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, sir?
Yeah.
Yes. So now we have to do these two operations. What are these two operations, sir? Okay. Now what we have to do? So we created this table, right? The data has to be pushed into two different tables based on the type of content, whether it is a movie or it is a, right? Okay, so we need to move this. Rank these entities individually, and if there are no constraints, add them as required. All right, sir. So now these are the two activities that we need to perform. Now, if you just go and watch our script, okay, what we did, we just loaded this data. Now you want to rank them, right? So before you want to rank them, if you want to perform any other task, okay, now you want to perform some other task, like you want to push the data, but you want to rank them based on the basis of each individual type. Okay, if it is a movie, the movies has to be ranked, and if it is a what you say, TV show, you have to rank them accordingly. Now again, if you have a transformation, you do not perform that transformation directly on the destination table or on the source table. Okay, always remember this. You will not perform any sort of transformations on your source table or on your destination table. Here the source table is your Flix Patrol raw. This is your source table. These are your destination tables. So it is very important for you. To identify, like, in which I have to push the data right now. And whenever you are pushing the data and you are performing any transformation, don't directly do on them. So for that, what we are going to do is, I'm just going to drop these tables here. Drop table most watched TV show, drop table if exists most watched TV shows. All right, and the same time you want to drop this one as well. Okay, I'm just executing this, and I'm dropping the main tables now. Okay, I will keep a copy of them for now. I might need it later. Okay, so now I want to move the data into a temporary table before I can do any other thing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a temporary table on top of this. So to create a temporary table, I just need to add a hash in front of it. So I will just check for, now I'm just changing the code so that it supports for all the temporary tables. Okay, so it will check whether this temporary table exists. If it exists, it drops it off. It completely drops it off. And in the same way, if this particular temporary table exists, it will also get dropped off. All right, sir. Now here, if you see, The Night Agent is the TV show which was watched too many times in 2023. Okay, The Night Agent is the TV show which was watched too many times. But if you see, there are gaps in ranks. Okay, there are gaps in ranks. Now, the thing is whether you want to disturb this rank or you want to keep that intact. I want to keep this rank intact. I don't want to disturb it. But instead of that, what you want to do is, you want to generate a new rank. How you will generate a new rank, sir? How will you generate a new rank? On what basis you will generate a new rank?
On the position of the row. So row number.
Okay, row number on
Excuse me, on
watch time, right? So based on what you want to apply the row number function. If it has been watched more times, then only I will apply it as a rank 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? You need to tell the criteria of on what you want to apply the row number. We cannot just apply row number, right? If you just apply the row number, it will randomly apply the row numbers. We need to tell the system that, okay, apply the row number on the basis of watch time. If more the watch time, lesser the rank. Yes or no?
Mm.
So what you will do here is, now you will write a row number function. Okay, you will write a row number function over. Now what you can do is you can just write this row number function over. Now order by, so order by watch time ascending or descending,
This.
as I will call it as new rank. I'm going to call it as new rank. I'm going to call it as a new rank. So before we can do the data, let's just check how it looks. Okay, I'm just going to comment this and let me run this code. If you see, now are there any missing ranks here? So if you see here, 13th rank. Now earlier actually we have 15th rank for physical 100, but now we have rank 14. So that means our logic is working perfectly fine. So the new ranks that have been generated that are good enough. Yes or no, sir? Hello?
Yeah. So since we already ordered by the most worst, by row number I meant the index. So the first row equals the rank 1, second row equals rank 2 without specifying watch time. Can we do that?
No, you cannot do that. So order by clause is required, right? So
Okay.
you need to tell, okay, whenever you are using a window function, right, you need to tell on what criteria you want to apply this row number. Okay, for example, if I don't use this, okay, let's assume that you are not using this, okay, and I just I just partition it by title, for example. Okay, if I just do like this, must have an over clause with order by, or I can just say you need an order by clause. For example, if I just do it on order by title, rather than that, if I do it on order by title, you will get a different kind of ranking here.
Oh, okay.
You will get a different kind of ranking, which is not nice. Oh, we have a null value here.
Can you
Did
not?
you see that?
I'm sorry. Can you not order by rank? Because it's already ascending
Okay.
order.
All right. If you want to rank it by rank, right? So if you are saying like, why don't you do the ranking on the rank itself? Okay.
Yeah.
Of course you can do this, but again it is not suggested. So again, you see the rank is something which was generated on. Now again the rank field is varchar still, so it is not integer. It is a varchar field still. So if you see that rank was generated to these things. Okay. Okay, the new rank, whatever we are generating, that should be an int. Yes. So it's better we go it on order by watch time descending. All right, sir. Let's keep it as watch time descending. Now, based on this, what it will happen? So whatever you run, right? Whatever the code you run, the code runs in this way. Okay. So it will give you all these new ranks. It will give you all these new ranks. All right. I'm just going to take this logic here and I'm just going to keep a comma here and I'm going to push it in this way. Right? So now we saw somewhere in null value also, right? In Premiere we saw null value. Okay, we'll talk about it later. Okay, let's run this and let's run this code. All right. Now let's see what is there in most watched TVs. Again, the data is not in a perfectly ordered format. Select start from movies. Okay, now here I did a mistake. What is that? I pushed the data completely into using this new rank. I pushed the data using this new rank. Actually, I didn't wanted this new rank, right? Okay, currently it is in this only, right? So there is no problem. Totally fine. All right. So that's totally correct. Now, this is our staging table. Again, this is our staging table. Now, staging tables are the tables that are used for your transformation purposes. You are doing some sort of transformations, right? All these transformations should be performed. All these transformations should be performed on your staging tables. So here I'm using my temporary tables as staging tables. But in real time, these staging tables can also be physical tables. Okay, these tables can also be your physical tables. So what they do is they truncate the data in your physical tables, they load it again, they do whatever the transformations they want to perform, they do it, and then they push it into the destination tables, the final destination tables. All right, sir. Now what we have to do is, now we need to move this data into our main tables. The final step is moving the data into our final table. Now here what I'm going to do is, so I'm going to create this most watched things. Okay, so rather than select star into most watched movies from hashtag most watched movies, order by new rank. Okay, now I don't want to create a new table. Okay, sorry, I don't want to create, because now if you see, my temporary table has two things in it. All right, I have one rank and I have new rank. I don't want to consider rank now, I just want to consider new rank now. Okay, how I'm going to do that? Okay, so I will just require what are the columns I need. So for example, I need new rank, and I will call it as rank. Okay, now if you see, we do not have a primary key as well, so we need to create another row number function which can tell you that, okay, let's order them on a particular basis. So what I'm going to do is, okay, row number function, okay, row number function over order by new rank. Okay, order by new rank ascending as I'm going to call it as title ID, or this is movies, right? As movie title ID. I'm going to call it as movie title ID, and I'm going to call the new rank as new rank. All right. What else I want? I want the title, comma, type, comma, premiere, genre, watch time, comma, watch time in million. Okay, so these are the columns that I need. So in the same way, I'm just going to copy this code here. Okay, and maybe I will take the whole thing. I'm just going to keep it for my destination table. Okay, most watched TV shows, and here also I'm going to keep it as hash most watched TV shows, order by new rank. All right, done. So we are just going to run this, execute. All right, now if you just go and watch your most watched TV shows, all right. Hey, what happened? Did we do anything? Most watched TV shows, order by rank. That's correct. Okay, maybe the data which is being shown, right, that data is not in a proper order. The data is not in a proper order. All right, so if you want to add a primary key, what we are going to do, alter table most watched TV shows, add constraint primary key. Okay, add constraint pk movie title ID. Okay, so what we are going to do, sorry, I forgot the syntax of this. very long time. Anyone remember how to add a primary key?
I think you just mentioned primary key and mentioned the column name and I think it's when you are creating a table.
No, we can do it when you are no, once after creating the table also you can create that.
Okay, let me see the syntax in Google.
Okay, so we have this. All right. No, I got it.
Good. Okay.
Okay, so we are going to write alter table. So this particular thing, add constraint. So I'm going to call it as PK most watched TV ID primary key clustered. So I'm going to do it on movie title ID, not movie title ID. Or did I create a movie title ID on both of these tables? All right, no problem. For now, let's manage with this. Cannot define primary key instance on nullable column. Do we have nulls? In movie title ID, do we have nulls? I didn't know that. All right. Okay, so we have one more problem here. That is your primary key column itself has null values in it. And why we have null values, I don't know. Maybe there are a few ranks which has null values in it. Okay, so most watched TV shows where rank is null. Where rank is null. So let's see wherever the rank is null, let's identify those. We don't have anything, right? Okay, maybe we need, okay, understood. So in order to add a primary key, what you should do is, first of all, you should make that column with a not null constraint. So you need to update that column with a not null constraint. Only after you have with a not null constraint, then only you can make it into primary key. All right. So, okay, we will do it later. So for now, just let's keep this till here, most watched TV shows and most watched movies. Most watched movies. Most watched movies. Order by movie title ID. So here also I'm going to just order it by movie title ID. Let's try to run them. Now you can see the data. All right, sir. So here now you got ranking for both of your movies and as well as TV shows. So I just kept the column the same. Sir, understood, sir. So what we did with these actions? So first of all, we loaded that data set. Now, after loading that data set, what we did, we just made some small transformations here. What is the transformation? We performed data cleaning here. What is the data cleaning that we performed? We saw a dot inside our in our one of our columns. So we just tried to replace that column with that, and then we started pushing the data into our staging tables. In our staging tables also, we got only the filtered data, corresponding filtered data, and then we moved this. Then we assigned ranks in our staging. We assigned ranks according to that genre. We applied ranks, and on top of that, finally we moved into the destination tables. What we did, we moved that complete thing into our destination table. Okay, these are the flight operations we have performed. So this is a very basic operation that we are performing. All right, now this can be done in a more complex way as well. All right, we will go to that part, but let's first understand. Okay, are we clear with this, everyone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Any doubts here so far? Any doubts or anything that you did not understand? Any function that you did not understand? So for everyone, it is clear, right? It is quite clear.
Yeah.
Simple operations. So there is
Yeah.
no big thing in it. All right, sir. Now, if you see, there is now the next operation what we want to do is now if you see there is an joiner here, right? Hello, sir. There is a joiner here. Now, if you see this joiner is like being repeated again and again. This genre is being written like, for example, now if you see there are comedy movies or comedy TV shows. Now if you see this comedy is getting repeated again. Now your manager said like, we don't want to see this like this. Okay, why don't you, just make them push all these genres into a different table and use only those corresponding IDs here.
Mhm.
Hello, sir. Understood, everyone? All right. Now our operation is to just identify all these genres. Now wherever this genre is there, right? Now you want to create a new table with genre table. Okay. Now you want to create a new table called as the genre table. Here, rather than using the genre directly, what he wants, or what your manager wants is the problem statement is you want to replace it with the genre ID. All right. So now let's see how you can do that. Okay, now you just need to add one more step on top of this. You want to add one more step on top of this. Yes or no? Hello?
Mhm.
So what you are going to do? Here you have to create a new table called as the genre table. You have to create a new table called as the genre table. Now before I can create a genre table, I want to directly do it on a temporary table first. Once I am good enough, once I have the confidence that okay, this data is correct, then only I want to push it into my main table. All right. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a table, create table, hash genre. Now, how you will, okay, I will just write select star into genre. So I'm going to create a new table called as genre table, GNRE. Okay, from DVO Flix Patrol raw. Okay, and here what I'm going to do is where genre is not null. Where genre is not null. So I want to get all the genres which are not null. So if there are any null values here, I don't want to consider them as a genre. All right, sir. So here what I'm going to do is I need to create a new thing, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to write a row number function over order by genre ascending. So I want to order them on genre ascending as genre ID. I want to do it as genre ID. Now, what you want, sir? Basically, you want what? You want all the distinct genres, right? So I'm just going to write distinct genres. I want distinct genres to be read. Yes. Hello.
Mhm.
I need to get all the distinct genres from my raw table which are of not null, and I want to create a new table which is hashtag genre. So let me run this code. All right, and what it says, it created 17,984 rows. Why? Not here. Here. Horror. Okay. So we cannot do it directly like this. So what we have to do is drop table if exists of hash genre. Okay, let's do this. You cannot directly apply the row number here. So what we need to get is we need to get all the genres first. We need to get all the genres first. Right? So let me run this code again. So we got 28 genres. We got 28 genres here. Now what you want to do, you want to have a row number ID to them. You want to have a row number ID to this journals. So what you are going to do, you are going to add another step here, adding row numbers to the journal table. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new table. I'm going to create a new table called as hashtag journal with IDs. So I'm going to call it as genre with IDs. Now what I'm going to do, now I'm going to take genre, comma. So not from the raw table, now from the genre table, I want to do that. I want to do it from genre table. Okay. So here what I'm going to do, genre, then I'm going to write row number function over order by genre, ascending as genre ID. I'm going to call it as genre ID. I'm going to call it as genre ID. Now let's run this code. Right, 28 rows affected. Now if you see, there are like genre with IDs. There are tables with genre IDs. Yes or no? Genre IDs. Now our work did not complete here. Now our work is to see, just give me a second. My battery is low. Just give me a second. I will be back in a moment. Okay? 1 second. All right, sir. I'm back. All right, sir. Now, sir, able to hear my voice? Hello?
Yeah.
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 1 second. Just let me take one more screenshot of your attendance. I guess a lot of people are there now. All right, sir. All right. So now what we are going to do is, so we got all the genres, right? So we need to create a new table called as genre. Okay. So how you are going to do it? You're just going to push this data from your temporary table genre with IDs into your normal table. So here what I'm going to do is select star into I'm going to call it as genre table from genre with IDs. Genre with IDs, order by genre ID. So I'm just going to create a new table called as genre IDs, right? Now, if you just see, now we have created a new physical table. Now we have created a new physical table for your genres. Now you have created a new physical table for your genres. Now these IDs should reflect. Now these IDs should reflect in your data as well. Now it should be reflected in your data as well. Now either you can do it on your staging tables or either you can do it on your last destination table. Now because we do not perform any operation, so whenever we are pushing the data, right, finally we push the already completely sorted data into our destination tables, but we do not perform any transformation on them. So whatever we want to do, we will do it here itself. We will do it here itself. All right. So here what we are going to do is, rather than having genres, okay, so now if you see, there is, these are like all of type this, right? Now here I'm going to write inner join genre table, inner join genre table. Okay, now I'm going to call it as fr, and I'm going to call it as g on fr dot genre equal to g dot genre. Okay, now here, rather than writing star, now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to write title, comma, type, comma, premiere, comma. Now, rather than writing genre, we will write genre ID. Genre ID, watch time in million. Easy? Hello, sir? Here. Easy? Right? The
Yeah.
same thing, we need to do it for our most watched movies as well. So what we are going to do, we are just going to copy paste this code till this part. Okay, so I'm just copy pasting this, and here the from class as well. We just need to copy paste this. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to, if the table exists, drop it and recreate it. All right, now if this table exists, drop it and recreate it with our new criteria. Now after that, what we are going to do is, this is, now we do not have genre, right? So we have now genre ID. Genre ID. So we just need to make that modification here, genre ID. All right. So let's just change it, and this is movie title ID. We kept movie title ID 100, movie title ID, and I'm going to call it as TV show ID. Okay, I'm going to call it as TV show ID. All right, I will drop them and I will recreate them again. All right, just let's get rid of all of these things and let's execute them. Yes, sir. Hello. Now you are able to get the genres right, genre IDs rather than genres. You are able to get genre IDs right. Now, if you want to see the genres, what you will do now? What exactly we are doing is we are normalizing the database. Yes or no? We are normalizing the database. Earlier it was denormalized data. Now what we are doing, we are normalizing it, creating specific entities to each one of them. And if there is any column which has repeated data in it, we are moving it out as a different table and just using their IDs inside them. And we are just using the IDs inside them. Now you can go a little bit ahead. Okay, now you can go a little bit more into this. All right, and you can, these are all, we should have one more thing right here. Everything is movie. We are missing one more column here somehow. There was one more column, right? Okay, that is genre only. All right. All right. Then that's fine. Okay. So in this way, you can get all these things. All right. Now, if you want to get, if you want to divide it into genre types also, for example, each genre should have a single table and that has to be ranked on the basis of genres. Okay. Each table should have data genre wise and each genre should be ranked according to that table you want to do it. You can do that as well. So that might create 28 more tables. Let's not do that. Let's not create 28 tables on that. But this is on a very high level how you transform data using just SQL. We did not use any of the things. We just use SQL here. All right. So in this way, we are able to get this. Any doubts, sir, so far? Hello.
No, I think it's fair enough, straight enough.
All right. Now, if you want, now you got this data, now you want to send this data to your client. All right. Now you cannot give the table directly, right? So what you want to do is you want to send this data in Excel sheets again. So what you will do is you will just place this, you will generate Excel sheets from this. Now we call this as exporting data. So if you go to the here you have tasks. All right, go here. Now you have something called as export data. Now you click on export data. Okay, now again your import export wizard will open up. Click on next. Now data source. Now what is your data source? Now your data source would be, all right, here you need to select a data source. Now your data source here is, now if you see this, this is a quite little different window. Here the data source. So from what is your data source? Your data store is SQL Server client. Okay, because from SQL Server you want to push the data, right? I'm using my Windows authentication. Database is import export database, right? Next, here what is my destination? My destination is a flat file. My destination is a flat file destination, or I can keep a Microsoft Excel file. So for this demonstration, we will generate the data into Microsoft Excel. Okay, now what is the Excel file path where you want to generate this file? So I will just browse this. All right, in the downloads folder there is already this, right? So I will just create a new folder here called as export data. I'm going to call it as export data. So I'm going to use this particular folder to generate my file. So I'm just going to create one file here just for okay, dummy. Okay, dummy.excel, or I can say movie rankings.excel. Just I have to create one dummy file. So to tell that, okay, this is the destination where you have to create it. All right. So what is the Microsoft Excel version you want? You want like 2007 to 2010, or you want 2013, or you want 2016? All right. Any format you can use, as most of this we are used like 2097 or 2003 or 2007 to 2010. We will use this. We need to check this. We need to tell them that, okay, keep the first row as column names. Keep the first row as column names. In the Excel sheet, keep that first row as column names. Next, copy data from one or more tables or views. Next, here you select the tables that you want to export. You want to export most watched movies and most watched TV shows. So these are the two tables that you want to send it to exporting. Now here again, you have this option like whether you want to map, whether you want to create the column name with a different name, or whether you want to do it on a different thing. You can change the data type. In Excel also you have data types, right? What kind of data it is holding. Again, you want to change, you can change them, or even you want to change the column names. Okay. So this is from source, what are the column names you are getting. So while pushing into the Excel sheet, you don't want this underscores or something, you can just change them. Okay, sir, I don't want this particular thing. I just want to keep them as a plain one. I don't want to use this all underscores in between in my Excel sheet. You can just edit those. You can edit those. Okay, most watched TV shows. All right. Yep. Okay. Okay, so we need to do individually edit mappings. Here also I don't want the genre ID here. with underscores. I'm just making that modification. On top of that, you want to make modifications to the data types, or you want to change the precision or scale of anything, you can do that as well, right? So here I'm going to create these two, most watched movies and most watched TV shows. So these are the two files that are going to get generated. Now next, okay, so what is this? Okay, so it is going to convert. So once it is converted, so you can have some exception handling as well here on place. So what happens, what to do if there is a error, okay, if there is an issue coming up, you can ignore it or you can return a fail. So here what I'm going to tell them, so if there is any problem while converting the data and making it an Excel file, if anything comes up, fail that complete job. Don't keep that job as a, don't ignore the job, but completely fail the job so that I can rerun it again. Or else you can just ignore. If there is a type conversion issues that are coming up and you don't want to do that, you can just ignore them. It's completely up to you. Okay, run immediately. Okay, what is this SSIS package? We will deal it with tomorrow. Okay, save as SSIS package, how to schedule these jobs, all these things we will deal tomorrow. All right, finally finish. All right, now yep, now we generated our files. Now let's go and see. So we have this export data file. Now if you see, we got our Excel sheet here, movie ranking. Let's open it. Now if you see here, we have like two sheets generated. One is with the most watched movies and the other one is the most watched TV shows. All right, sir, we have the most watched movies and most watched TV shows. All these are generated from our database into our Excel file. Okay, sir, if you want to generate unique individual files, then what you will do, then you don't do it in one single job, you keep a step of jobs. Okay, how to do a step job, okay, how to run it step by step, we will learn tomorrow. All the things we will learn tomorrow, but for now these are the things. Sir, clear everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any doubts so far? Any doubts on this? Any doubts on the SQL functions that we have used or on any process that we have used? So here is our homework for you guys. All right, so if you see, now we have these two tables, right? So what you want me to do, what I want you to do is, all right, take any other data set of your choice, take any other data set of your choice, write a transformation like this, okay, and try to create some tables on it. Okay, sir? Everyone, will you be able to do this? And the people who doesn't have SQL Server, please try to communicate with your fellow peers, all right, and try to practice in that if it's possible. Okay, because the most of the tools that we are learning are Windows based. Okay, there are, unfortunately, there are no Mac based tools we have to learn. All right, so mostly like, so whenever we are dealing with any Windows related tools, please try to bond with your peers and try to practice with them. Okay, I'm going to give you this script. So this is day 2, right? All right, I'm just going to give this data script. All right, sir, everyone got the script? Everyone please download this script. Okay, now what you have to do is go to Kaggle, download a dataset of your choice, okay, and try to perform this. Okay, and try to perform the same operation. All right, but with a different data set. Try to do it with a different data set. And if you want to go a step further, keep this in a stored procedure. Whatever we are going to study tomorrow, keep this in a stored procedure. Try to run that stored procedure so that all the tasks are done in one go. Okay, rather than we individually selected and executed each one of them, right? So don't do that. Directly do it on your directly do it with a stored procedure. Okay, sir, understood everyone?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, sir. Any doubts? Any doubts before we close the session for today? Any sort of?
Can you please also? I did download MySQL Workbench. Okay, can you quickly
All right.
give me a demo of how to do that over there?
All right. All right. So this is our MySQL. All right. So what you can do is, so let me do it on my sample database. Here, if you see, okay, you have the table data import wizard. Okay, you have something called as the table data import wizard. Now you can click on the table data import wizard. So once you click on the table data import wizard, you will get this file path. So what is the file path? So mostly it deals with CSV files only. So browse, go to your downloads. All right. So here I have this fixed patrol, right? So just click on that. All right. Do next. Okay. So create new table. So I would just want to create a new table. I'm going to call it as fixed patrol underscore raw. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to create in the sample database itself. Okay. I want to, if you, I just say that drop this table if it already exists. So if it is already there, drop it and create a new table with this data. Just click on next. Now again, it will give you like whether what is the data type you want. So you have everything in text. Okay, just keep it. Or if you want to just convert them, you can convert them as you like. All right, and then just have a preview, have a look at the preview, how it is showing the data, and then click on next. Okay, will now be performed. Please monitor the section. All right, so just click on next, and your data gets imported into your MySQL workbench. All right, into your database, whatever the database you have selected, into that new database, it will be selected. All right, if you're running it on Mac, in Mac, if you're running it on MySQL Workbench, it is way too fast. Okay, it is way too fast. Okay, but in Windows, unfortunately, I don't know what is the reason, but it is slow. But even both the machines are capable enough. For example, the Windows machine I use is a Core i7 16 GB RAM, and the Mac I use, it's a M1 Mac with 16 GB RAM. All right. So both of them having the same kind of specs, still, Windows lags a little bit. I don't know why, but Mac does it very fast. Okay, I got the data here. All right, so I'm just going to use my sample database and my new SQL, and you have this fixed patrol. All right.
Okay.
Now again, you can go, you can perform the same operation, but again, just remember that these things are going to be a little different. Okay, whatever the syntaxes I have used in SQL Server, that will differ here.
Okay.
Okay, the syntaxes completely will differ here. Okay, sir.
Okay.
So you can perform. So the
Figure out.
people who are
Hello,
on
sir.
Mac, you can do this.
I have doubts, sir.
Yes, sir.
So in a SQL, like Microsoft SQL, you have used temporary table, right? Using slash and all.
Right.
So in MySQL, to use that temporary thing, what we need to do?
So you have to write something called as create temporary. Now you have to use this keyword called as temporary. All right, create temporary table. Now, for example, I
Okay.
just want to, now you don't need to give hash or something here. So I'm going to use as movies stage, for example. Okay. Here, what I want to do, I want to just, select star from Flix Patrol Raw. Okay. Where type equal to movie. Now you want to do this, you can do in this way. Execute this, and that is created. You can just write select star from movie stage. All right, you got all the movies here. And now again, you perform the window functions. All the functions are similar. As you do it in SQL Server, the same functions will apply here as well. There is no problem with the window function syntaxes, but how you create tables or how you use the control flow, because tomorrow we are going to see control flows. Okay, you want to loop through each record, perform some operation. Tomorrow we will do it on SQL first. Day after tomorrow, we will slowly move into SSIS. We will see different transformations there. And after that, we will see those transformations with different control flows. Okay, how to do different control flows on them. All right. So I'm not much good with ADF, but I'm trying to, explain you things on ADF, actually, Azure Data Factory. Okay, I'm not very good at ADF, but still I'm learning because because a lot of people have this problem, right? Because SSIS you cannot use directly. So what I'm doing is I'm learning ADF. I'm doing the same transformations what I do on SSIS. I'm trying to do it on ADF. So if I learn it by today, end of the day, I will explain you on ADF itself, Azure Data Factory itself, so that you can perform all those on the web itself, on the cloud itself. You don't need any on-premise tool, because with on-premise tools are mostly Windows centric. They are all on Windows centric. So I don't want that. So I will try to teach you on ADF. If I'm facing difficulties, then I will teach you on SSIS. But most probably I will try to teach you on ADF itself. Okay? I will show you SSIS as well, but I will show you the same transformations again on ADF as well. How you can do it on ADF, how you can loop them, how you can push that data into different storage services within Azure itself. All right.
Okay.
So maybe probably ADF I will start in the next week. Okay. So I will get a little bit of time to learn that and teach you those transformations. But if you want to directly, sir, if it's okay, we can do it on SSIS itself, then I can directly show everything on SSIS. Very easy for me. Okay. But I want you to learn the new cloud technologies as well. So we will learn this and we'll learn that as well. So we will have on all the things. And the last 2 days of our course, maybe it would be on the next Thursday and Friday. So we will have a small project and I will give you that project. You guys have to do it, okay, either team based or solo independent wise, and you have to present it to me. What you did with that, how you denormalized data, what are the things that you have kept in mind, and how you performed all those transformations. For that, we will have a project. Okay, sir? Everyone?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay, sir, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed this session. All right, let's meet tomorrow. Let's see some more examples on top of that, how to create procedures on top of this, how to schedule those procedures for everyday purposes, and how to handle different scenarios. Let's learn it tomorrow. All right, sir?
Sure. Actually,
Everyone good?
I had a question.
Mhm.
So this weekend, that is Saturday and Sunday, are we going to have any classes or Friday will be the last?
I'm not pretty sure about that. I need to check with the team. All
Mhm.
right, even I don't have that specific info. Maybe Saturday there is a class. This Saturday we have a class. I guess so. All right.
Okay.
So
So
if
that
it
is
is
Saturday IST hours, right?
Saturday IST hours, yeah, Saturday
Okay.
IST hours in the sense like your Friday
Night. Yeah.
night, your
Evening.
Friday night. All right.
Yeah.
All right, sir. So that's it for today. Let's meet tomorrow and let's rock.
Yeah.
Okay. चलिए,
Yeah.
practice and please do your homework. Get a Kaggle dataset of your choice. Do it, and for that first 20 minutes, we will be seeing. You have to share the screen and show me like what you have done. I will pick randomly 2 or 3 people. ठीक है?
Sure. Mm.
All right, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's
Yeah.
meet tomorrow. Bye bye. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.